You can fire me. I'm not coming to jobs. I'm playing golf.
I don't know my ass from a hole in the ground. You have to be smarter than the TV.
Continue with the next
Sometimes you have to be smarter than a Ziploc
Why do you
bag.
need all that? That's like if you showed up to play softball on my team and you wore jeans, you weren't playing.
Yeah.
I'd rather have you with no pants on. I want to be Hank Floyd.
Hank Floyd. We need Hank Floyd here in town to clean up our city clown
Oh, he would. Trust me. Yes, hello. Hey, it's Gamblenfin, Larger Than Live. Season 3, 2?
Episode 2.
Right.
Yes.
Because of our fall break, correct?
Yes. Well, we took a break, then we started season 3, and then we took another break.
Right.
Because we've decided that we may just every episode may be its own season. We've decided maybe just to do that because then our archive will be so much more impressive.
Breaks are necessary, and so we appreciate you tuning in again every Monday, except when we're on break. We will do this Larger Than Live on YouTube.
On the YouTube.
On the YouTube, that's right.
That's right. And what we did is we took last week off to rearrange the studio, and we rearranged it, and then we didn't like the way we rearranged it, so we rearranged it back to the way we had it because we like this better.
And truth be told, it is somewhat rearranged, just not on the part you can actually see. It's the part that's off.
Something got lost in communication with regard to the rearrange.
Well, no, you know what didn't get lost? Nowhere to go with some of this crap. And
What did they say about shuffling the deck chairs on the Titanic?
Everybody's guilty of this. That's what I'm trying to stop doing. Okay, I'm going to move this from here, and then I'm going to move it over there. Then about a couple weeks later, I'm going to move it back to here. I mean, you got to get rid of stuff.
Can I tell you this?
Yes, please do.
I came home. I was traveling. I went to Tupelo, Mississippi. Jealous. And they gave us a really nice backpack, and I opened it up. And there was a really nice kind of chamois towel in there, the Tupelo logo, and a big plastic thing with a zipper that had a bunch of toiletries and things. Just a good go bag if you need, whatever.
Okay.
So I take all the different elements out. I'm like, I'm going to put that in my overnight kit. I'm going to put this there. And I had this little zipper bag. It's about this big. It says Tupelo. It's got a zipper. It's plastic. And I'm like, I could just throw that away. You know what? Someday I might use that.
Throw it away.
I kept it. I still have it.
No, and you know what?
I should just throw it away, but we have keep it.
The furnace room, which also doubles as partially storage, not up against the furnace, but back. That's my dumping ground. Well, I might use it. I'll put it in there, and it's just and I'm speaking to myself. You got to start throwing stuff.
Well, and let me ask you this, and you can comment if you're watching. Comment down in the comments here on the YouTube page. Do you do that? I don't think there's anybody that doesn't do that.
Everybody I know does.
Maybe 2 people who are anal enough to just keep everything up off the floor and this and that or whatever. But I keep a lot of crap I don't need. And it is funny because when you do purge it, you look around and go, I'm going to keep it this way. And then the next thing you know, the entire lateral surface is covered.
Well, I'd be intrigued from hearing from people, like, if you do get rid of stuff, like, what's your impetus? Like, when you looked at something for the 8th time, was it 8 that finally made you go, I can't look at this anymore?
It's triple digits.
It's bad.
It can't be 8. And the one thing that I just keep moving around that I'm going to finally get rid of, I've decided this. I just keep moving it from here to over here to down there to back here into here up in here. So I'm gonna get. I've looked at this 7,000 times. I'm gonna get rid of it.
I'll close this topic, not that topic, but this topic on the following: is if you have to say to yourself, I'm gonna use it or I might someday go. It needs to go.
I agree. Yeah, I know.
Quiet over there. Over here Keep down over there. Hey, I want to talk about something positive because there isn't a lot.
Okay.
But how about I'm acting as your advisor. You're in the survivor pool.
That's right.
Correct me if I'm wrong now. It started with more than 200 participants,
235 people started.
Okay. There are only 8 that have 0 defeats.
Right. It's a double elimination.
All right. Which I want to ask you about that momentarily, but we're one of the 8.
Yes.
Right now, really,
yes.
Sunday, I mean, really, we should have been eliminated.
Well,
I mean, let's be honest.
No, but a tie is not a loss.
Right,
so
I understand
we move on with essentially what's a win. Now, and it's my fault, Steeler Nation, my bad. I didn't wear my lucky outfit. No. I didn't have it on in the car while we were driving back from Tupelo. So,
that means
we'll take the tie and move on.
8 are undefeated. 48 have 1 defeat. Is
40,
that correct?
40 have 1 defeat. 40, so there are only 48 total. People left total.
But here's what I still do not understand this. So let's just say by some miracle, we're the one standing at 0.
Right.
And everybody else has 1. Do we just wait for them to get a second?
I don't know.
There's no to
I
me.
guess you have to play the season out to see if we would lose one.
I think if somebody winds up with 0, hopefully that somebody would be
winds
us
up at the very end.
at the end, then we would win.
Yes,
whoever
I think that would
zero-
have to be.
Okay, so they're assuming, and man, I got to believe a lot of people would hit Tampa. I mean, at what? I'm
the
telling you,
Ravens cost a lot of people on Thursday.
Yeah, that
was another one.
But I'm telling you, stick to my. I'm not going to tell my.
Don't tell the
I won't.
theory, because of the tens of people that watch this, one of them might be in the pool.
They could be one of them.
Get out of the pool. It's too
I do
cold.
have to tell you though, the NFL. Honestly, who can you trust?
No.
I mean, maybe Green Bay, maybe.
With that rapscallion, Aaron Rodgers out
Telling
front.
you though, beyond that, I'm not sure right now you can trust anyone.
Well, I have to be honest
Seriously.
with you. The one that's been quietly creeping through is Tennessee. They have been
you're
very
right.
under the radar. I don't even know who won last night. I fell asleep before the end of the game.
Oh,
The Kansas City win.
41-14, Kansas
City.
And they're looking. Now,
But
granted, Vegas
you know.
is unraveling now. But I will say, but again, you go Tennessee, and don't forget they lost to the Jets.
Yeah.
I mean, one of their 2 defeats. But I would tell you, in the AFC right now, Tennessee is clearly playing better than anyone.
You made me think of something. I know you don't watch Saturday Night Live.
I do not.
But we did discuss. Remember, we were talking about sportsmanship and that high
Yes.
school team that won
Right.
106
to nothing. Right.
During the news that popped up on the screen. It was one of their news items, and it said the principal for a school issued in such and such town issued an apology for unsportsmanlike conduct for having beaten their opponent 106 to nothing. And he says, "Apology accepted," said the New York Jets. I thought that was pretty good.
But I'm telling you, it's wide open. It's
Yeah.
crazy. It's, and I guess, again, I go back to this. The reason that there are 3 reasons why people are into the NFL. 1, gambling. 2, fantasy football. I realize that's kind of a form of gambling. And 3, everybody's got a shot every day. I mean, literally, no matter how bad the team is you follow, you got a shot. That's the only sport really where you only play once a week.
Right.
Where that is the case.
But the other thing about being in fantasy football, and I've talked about this, and these survivor pools and all this other stuff, it makes it less enjoyable for me. Because
Really?
I don't want to have to cheer for a team I don't like to move on, or players I
but
can't stand because they ended up falling onto my team.
But I guess in some ways, though, you could flip that around and say for people who would have no interest in the Rams and 49ers, maybe they watch when they otherwise
Well, that
would.
benefits the NFL.
Correct.
That doesn't benefit you, the
No.
person, the player.
Correct.
It's just another thing. But let's stay on the NFL topic,
Okay.
but not necessarily the gaming. I had a discussion with somebody actually on the way over here, talking about how we're still 10 days, 2 weeks later, talking about Aaron Rodgers and his COVID protocols. And yet it seems to have fallen completely off the radar that a guy was driving 150 miles an hour, slams into the back of a car while he's drunk, and kills a woman. What is it about the NFL that allows this to take all of the attention? And I know what it is. I know exactly what it is. They don't want this.
Yeah, but I'll give
the dead guy or the dead person and the drunk driving. They don't want that to be the face of the NFL. But how is that not still being talked about?
Because I don't think I think if you have a lick of common sense and an ounce of compassion, when on that circumstance, you would say that's a horrific story. Right? I mean, you couldn't say anything other than that.
No question.
I think the reason that the Aaron Rodgers story continues is it's more polarizing. I mean, when you look at the dude from the Raiders, Henry Ruggs III, I don't see. I mean, what would you defend him? He didn't know the speed limits. I mean, you know what I'm saying? There's no defense for that activity. I think with
It's
Rodgers,
politics. It's politics.
It is. But it's ridiculous. I mean, it's just who cares? I got to be honest with you. There's like 5 teams that honestly, if they're on one more time this year, I just won't even turn it on.
Dallas.
And one of them is tonight. I'm tired of the Rams already.
The Rams, yeah.
Tired of the Rams. And you know what? Here's another. Can I give you my pet peeve?
Yeah.
Yours is that. Mine is this. OBJ.
Oh, yeah.
I am so. First of all, if you're in the media, stop referring to Odell Beckham Jr. as OBJ. This guy's an ass clown. Complete. Just shut up. Who cares? I don't care if Matthew Stafford ever throws him a ball. Why does anyone? The one thing I'll blame the media for, and you know me, I was in the media, still am to a degree. But the one thing that I would tell you that drives me crazy is the media that just can't stop talking about stuff that doesn't deserve to be talked about.
Right. Well,
I don't get it.
But they tend to latch onto these stories about somebody who is that. Well, they use the phrase "big personality," but to me, it's just the biggest, whiniest baby.
I would agree with that.
Whoever's the whiniest baby or the squeakiest wheel at any given moment. I mean, Antonio Brown's been there.
Yeah.
The Bengals have had their share of players there. There's been quite a bit of them. I mean, what's his nut that used to be with in the Legion of Boom with Seattle?
Richard Sherman.
I mean, they just can't stop it. Now Uber Eats is using Marshawn Lynch. But here's they don't want to talk about his food. Who cares about that guy?
But here's what I don't understand, though. The thing I don't understand, I'm a sports fan, okay? I want to talk about what's going on in the field.
Right.
I'd rather talk about New England's emergence from, they started off slow. They got Mac Jones, who looks like a great quarterback now, draft pick. I mean, I'd rather talk about that.
Right.
Or, to your point earlier, or the Titans or Tennessee.
Right.
Mike Vrabel and what makes him able to get this team. That's Derrick Henry's out, but yet they're winning.
This is the 24-hour sports network, adding more 24-hour sports networks. So many more talking heads behind the desk who aren't qualified to talk about football. So it's become the Today Show.
It is.
Or it's become the two idiot women drinking wine, whatever that one is, or The View, or this or that, because they're talking about everything except football, because that's the stuff that powers that sort of unnecessary television. And whoever they think is subscribing to that, I saw another one. Subscribe to this, $2.99 a month, and get more insights. More that you're not getting any more insights. No. You're getting fewer insights. You're getting more rehashed garbage of stuff that doesn't matter and should be on morning talk shows before soap operas come on, or just be the soap operas themselves.
But I would rather, this is me, that's why I probably enjoy college football much more than pro. I do. Now, don't get me wrong, they still talk, but there isn't that pervasive, ego-driven brand of a player.
Well, and they're always talking about college football.
Right.
Even behind the desk or game day or this or that. They're always talking about the teams the football.
It isn't about the dude who just makes it about himself.
Right. What happened, they might create a piece that they run during the game about a Des Ridder or whatever, so you find out more about them. But it's not about their drama, and it's not about their this. And it's
because if you pose as a defense after an interception, you will be penalized. In the NFL, you run to the monitor.
You're celebrated, and they give you a camera upon which to do that.
Right, so
the Showtime cam.
I can't stand that. I can't.
No, way to go. You did your job. Run down here now and do that. But this is the game changing to go ahead and comply with the attitude of look at me, look at me, look at me. And this is why this time last year I told you I was about done with the NFL. And if my better half hadn't given me that Bumblebee jersey that I've been wanting forever, I would have been done.
Can you sell it and give her the money back?
I would have been done.
She would appreciate the money.
I appreciated the effort. It was not easy to get.
Right, so now it's done.
I'm like, one more year, but I'll be honest with you.
Yes.
I'm right back where I was because of the Odell Beckham Jr., because of this guy, because of that. Hell, I'm still hearing about Michael Vick, for God's sakes. I don't even know where that guy is. He was a great commentator. Good to see he lasted a long time. I hate that, too, just plopping guys in because they played the game and they think they're going to be broadcasters. It's nonsense.
It's Gamblenfin. It's larger than live. Don't forget, the YouTube is where you can find us each and every Monday, assuming we're not on break, at 7 o'clock. Now, just for the record, we are not on 700 WLW, the reality check, this week.
Or the rest of the month.
9 to midnight on Thursday. Right, we're not.
Yeah, we got bounced on Black Friday.
We did. We were scheduled to be on 3 to 6 Friday afternoon, the day after Thanksgiving, but UC at East Carolina. Kickoff time is 3:30. So, and that's a perfect segue for me into that for the Bearcats. I'm telling you, they're going to wind up in the top 4. They are.
You want a chance to win your dollar back on the Reds?
I do. Yes. Okay. So if you see
double or nothing,
if you see makes
nothing so far,
if you see makes the top 4, I'll just keep the $1 that I have never given you, and then if they don't, I'll give you $2 maybe. But
I want Susan B. Anthony dollars. That's what I want.
I have a $2 bill.
I want Sacagawea. That's what I want.
I do. I have a $2. Right. I'll give you a $2 bill. In fact, here's what I'll do. Next Monday, I'll bring it here and display it, and we'll leave it here.
Okay.
Until that work, I do.
You're not going to believe this, but I actually have
one with you.
I have a $2 bill with me.
But you can't put that out here.
Oh, I'm not putting it out. No, I'm just going back in
unless you put it out here, and I'll give you 2 singles when we're done.
You know why I keep this? You ever heard the thing? You never give somebody an empty wallet as a gift.
Yes.
You always put money. I will never not be completely broke, or never be completely broke because I have that $2 bill.
You have the $2 bill.
That's it. Huh. It's a good luck charm, I guess.
I'm telling you, it's going to happen.
Nope. I don't think
because one of 3 teams is going to lose. One of 4. Georgia, Alabama, Ohio State, or Oregon. Maybe all 4.
You think?
3 of the 4.
I don't think Georgia loses.
Well, then Alabama would have 2 losses, and they're gone. UC's in. Because if they'll play in the SEC title game. I'm with you. I don't think Georgia loses to Alabama. Oregon, I'm telling you, they have 3 potential losses, inclusive of this week. So just for perspective, Oregon is at Utah. They're the underdog.
Okay.
So that means odds makers who usually know a thing or two expect you. So they'll play Utah this week. Then they have Oregon State. Then they're going to have to play Utah again. Ohio State still has Michigan State at Michigan. Not inconceivable. Both have lost once. And then the Big Ten Conference Championship game.
But those are more difficult, arguably.
They are.
More
no
difficult
question.
conferences and games to get
No
through
doubt.
than what UC has to do. I mean, if they win out, but they still have SMU.
They do SMU, then at East Carolina, then likely Houston. But what I'm telling you is I think these others, because of what you just said, because they are more difficult, they have a chance. And remember, you only need 1. That's the thing. Of those 4, 1 loss by any of them, UC's in.
You will see a 2-loss team be in there before.
You really think so?
Yep. Yes, I do.
Well, then your
For
2-loss
that exact
team,
reason.
your 2-loss team will now, I will say this. If Georgia beat Alabama 21-20, maybe.
Right.
Maybe.
Right.
But anyway, at least I got a shot.
All right. So, by way of reset, Gamble and Finn, Larger Than Live, Studio G. And, again, subscribe here. You can hit the subscribe button, share it, let people know about us, and subscribe. We would love to have you subscribe because ultimately we'd like to put more content on here. Just little bits and pieces of how to live your life because we feel like we know better than most.
Yeah, because ours are just juggernaut.
Clearly nailing it. But since we're talking about sports,
yes,
I want to segue because we do talk a lot about sports, but I want to segue into something that made me feel 2 different things. Okay. I looked at it and I said, good God, I am old. I've had this thought before over this same subject. But I'm recognizing that, and I'm wondering if I can cope with it and come around on this topic.
Oh, boy.
And I don't know if this is something you're going to agree with me. And it's because I went to get myself some Cheez-It Grooves. Do you like the Cheez-Its?
I actually do, yeah.
The Cheez-It Grooves, delightful.
Yeah,
very
good.
Nice. They
you
hold
like
flavor.
Those better than the original
I do,
Cheez-It
actually.
Okay.
I like them. Right. They're more like regular chips, but I would say this. So I'm halfway through my box of Cheez-It Grooves going, wow, these are much hotter on the palate than I thought. And I flipped it around, and I looked at these 3 people. And I don't know if you'll be able to see them. But these are the new athletes of our time because this box says you could win a pro player experience with the Overwatch League. So it's guys, these are allegedly the athletes of the future. Overwatch. It's esports. It's esports. So all you do is you scan the QR code to end up watching these guys play these games as these cartoon characters. I mean, I know it's stupid to say, and this is where I thought I'm an old man, because I'm like, you got to be kidding me. People will sit and watch other people play games.
Yes.
But that's all we ever talk about. We sit and watch other people play football.
That's different.
It is different because they're actually playing a game where they could get hurt. Okay? This is the athlete of the future. Fred, take a look. Would you most like to meet Dante Cruz, screen name Dante? Would you like to meet Ji-Woon Jang, screen name Decay? Or would you most like to meet Matthew DeLezy, screen name Super? Which of these 3 athletes would you like to most meet? I don't get this. I don't understand how there's so much money in this. It doesn't make any sense to me. You know how many man boobs I saw on young boys this past week? That sounded way worse than it was supposed to, by the way. But from kids that just sit around all the time playing video games who are getting little man tits because they don't get out and do anything. And then when they're tossing, I'm sitting there, sometimes I'm looking, I'm like, is that a guy or is that I don't even know what's going on right there. And you're not supposed to say things like that, but I'm thinking, when are these people ever going to get outside and get some vitamin D or whatever? This is the future of sports, Fred. Why don't you familiarize yourself with the 3 of them?
Spend a little time.
And we'll put a little money down on those 3 playing Overwatch or whatever it is. But that is on a nationally packaged snack food now, which it blows my mind.
But I guess
you used to aspire to the front of the Wheaties box. The day that there's a kid playing esports on the front of the Wheaties box,
here's the
is the day I'm going to throw myself off of the now defunct Crew Tower.
Because in theory, if you made it to the front of the Wheaties box, along the way you probably ate Wheaties, correct?
Yes.
I mean, at least
I'm sure they've eaten Cheez-Its.
Well, I guarantee you, while I'm decaying, I can eat my grooves.
Yeah,
It's the right target. I mean,
snack your
while
grooves.
you're gaming, Yes.
But again, I'm looking at these are okay, and I'm not exactly even sure what these cartoon characters are that are on the front of this, but they've taken their avatar. I know it's not a cartoon character, it's an avatar. And this is the thing that made me feel really old. But do I just need to shut up and get over it because this is the future? Because if it is, I'm going to tell you something. Very soon, we are not going to have any more men and women. We're just going to have this thing that goes out and does stuff, and there aren't going to be any. Men are going to lose all their testosterone, and women are either going to amp up the estrogen or lose the estrogen to the point where we're just going to become this amorphous blob of a person that goes out and then we're not going to be able to procreate at all because we're not going to have the tools to do either. But if those are men moving forward, we're in big trouble.
I got to be honest with you. The not able to procreate
might not be a bad thing.
I don't think that's a bad thing. But here's my question to you that you can help me answer. So
why do I care?
I'm 58.
You're right. I'll be dead.
No,
Who cares?
But I'm 58. We got some time to go. I don't know how much.
2 to 3 years.
But here's my question though, and I think I hear a lot of people. I've heard a lot of people our age talking about the world is doomed. You hear that, okay? But here's my question. So you asked this, and I'll ask it again in a different way. You either have to go with the flow,
right,
or you got to just completely ignore it. You got 3 options. Go with the flow. Go, look at that. That would be A.
That's what I'm wondering.
Okay.
But I was
hold on. B, you just turn the box around, maul the grooves, and never see the back. Okay,
pour them into a Ziploc bag.
That's ignore it, or take it out. Yes, or just take the box and discard the box. Or C, have some sort of a heart issue. Yeah. I mean, those are your options. Go with it, ignore it, heart issue.
All right. Buy any participating Pringles or Cheez-Its between 6/1 and 8/31. Take a pic of your receipt with the qualifying purchase. Upload it to blah, blah, blah. Receipts must be uploaded separately within 14. Here's what we get, an entry to the sweeps for a chance to, hold on to your hats here, a chance to win a virtual pro player experience with your favorite Owl team member. I guess that's the Overwatch League, Owl.
So are you, and I'm not trying to ask this.
Or other pro gear prizes.
I'm not trying to ask this to be funny.
You must be over 18. That seems to be a little ridiculous.
To be serious. So you're winning to be able to play virtually?
One of these tool bags. That's what you're registering
Here's
to win.
the deal. Here's what I can tell you. I just don't get it. I'll just plead I don't get it. Because I don't.
And I don't think...
But it's not targeted for you and me, yet you're eating the grooves.
It's not, but I'm eating the food. It's almost enough to... Well, I'll be honest with you. The Uber Eats commercials are about to... Well, I've never used Uber Eats, but I never will use it.
Are there any in there?
No, it's empty. I wasn't going to bring it if there was any left.
Well, I thought I heard some. It felt a little heavy.
Some crumbs in there.
I was going to go, man,
I went like this, and a bunch of them landed on me, and Calvin started eating them off me, and I'm like, I'm Jabba the Hutt now. I've completely finished becoming Jabba the Hutt.
Now, here's my question. Will you ever buy grooves again?
Not in this box.
Will you actually go to the shelf and flip the box around to make sure?
To make sure that I'm not doing this? Yeah. Probably. Because I don't get this at all. And the fact, and it leads to a bigger thing. And this is my whole thing about, am I getting too old and am I getting grouchy or whatever? The job market is in the, no, I'm not. Because the job market is in the toilet, right? Well, they say the unemployment numbers are down. I don't see how. There's still no one working anywhere. People are quitting their jobs at record rates that are actual jobs where you go do a thing. But you can become a YouTube influencer. You know, we lost that girl who was murdered by her pussy boyfriend who killed himself, apparently, because she was a YouTube influencer. That's a job now. You can have a job just being on the internet. That's not a job. No, but the fact is, except us. Except for this, which is absolutely makes perfect sense that we should be influencing you. No, but to my point is, you're not out creating anything. Yeah. You're not creating anything.
No, you're right.
But the thing where I circle it back on myself and say, shut up, old man, it's the same argument. It wouldn't be there if people weren't paying to consume it.
No, you're right.
You could talk about Joey Votto's contract, but that's Reds fans' fault because you paid the ticket prices to allow that contract to be written for that guy. It's the fault of the people supporting it. And I just wonder if there's that many people out there allowing this to be a business. We are doomed.
So I would tell you this. They obviously have done enough research that they've determined that QR code in that contest is valuable. that there are enough people who are going to enter, or they wouldn't be doing it. So here's what I want you to do.
Absolutely, no question.
I want you to enter.
Huh?
Because let me just tell you this. If there was ever anything you would win,
it would be this, right?
So you must enter.
Well, I will do that because I will say, you know what? I entered this, and there's no chance the three of you are ever going to enter anything, if you know what I mean. Last time you saw one, you were coming out of it. Anyway, I don't know. I think I'm done. Except I just want to. I'm pissed off that I went and got a pop up here at your local Sunoco, and they're playing Christmas music already in there.
I know. Oh yeah. Well, you do realize there's at least
the station
one
Warm 98's already done it.
Right.
Well, the other religious station.
That's the one. They started it early.
Right on November 1st.
Yes, correct. That's
November 1st. But now Warm 98's flipped and done all that too. Enough.
And they claim, but I swear to you, they claim. Oh, I'm right there with you, my friend. But they claim that people really listen during this month.
I guess they do. But here's the thing. Has there ever been a time in the history of our lives that we needed to slow down for a second and be thankful? Just be thankful for what we have, and to blow past Thanksgiving straight to Christmas, where nobody even understands what Christmas is about anymore anyway, that we need to bypass Thanksgiving.
Speaking
Sit down
folks,
and be thankful.
Don't forget, I know all of this just good feel to you. Next week's our Thanksgiving, our special Thanksgiving episode.
Are we going to talk about what we're thankful for?
Perhaps.
It'll be the shortest episode ever. Come on and check it out.
I will tell you.
I think I've said the F-bomb 3 times in this episode.
The music being on now is just annoys me.
Well, it numbs you. It numbs you to what it's all about. You know what?
Well, you do realize this too. There's really not that many Christmas songs that they play. They play the same. I mean, they play the same versions of. Now, I mean, Christmas song A has 1,838 versions, and if you tune in the radio, you heard 6 of them.
That's if you're still allowed to sing some of them.
Oh, valid point.
Now, does Mariah Carey come out with a Christmas song every year? Is that?
I think she just came out with one, right?
But does she do that every year? Is that why people hate her so much now, because she does it every year? Is that? I don't know,
but it went to number. I mean, right? I think it went immediately to number 1.
No, that's yay.
I'm just saying.
Oh God! You know what we didn't talk about?
Fact.
You know what we didn't talk about?
What?
The way we should talk. We didn't talk about Astroworld at all.
Oh boy. Yeah.
You get what you deserve.
We might
in certain circumstances, corporations.
We might actually do 2 next week. What we're thankful for, and just a look back at Astroworld.
Yeah, well, no, that might not be a bad idea, because I absolutely have specific thoughts.
No, and I think it's worth talking about.
Yeah,
I really do.
And there was some serendipity with regard to, and we haven't talked about this, me speaking to your class.
It was unbelievable.
3 days before that happened.
One day.
Oh, that's
you came in Thursday.
No,
right?
I think I came in on Tuesday. I was a Tuesday.
Okay, so 3 days before.
No, it was a Thursday.
It was Thursday.
It wasn't Thursday. It was one day.
It was Thursday. That's what it was. And I actually last week I said, how about the foreshadowing? Because I mean, literally, and I recounted some of the things that you said that were.
Well, and if you don't know why, I would have been in his class as an adjunct professor.
It's event planning and management, and we're talking about facilities and venues. And you were the general manager for 5 years at Bogarts and Clifton.
Yeah, actually 7 over 2 different spans. But I only bring that up because they were 2 completely different experiences.
Right.
So it was worth. Now, certain things crossed over, but there were certain things that didn't. And it was great to sit and talk. And there were actually 4 or 5 people seemed like they were actually listening.
Yeah.
With intent.
They were listening.
With intent to say, I'm going to keep this in mind because the venue part of it might be more than just the event part.
Right.
Everybody actually did seem to be paying attention because I think they've all been to events.
Correct.
And that's what they want to do. And I might have been saying some things they never thought of. Well, you know who else was not thinking of those things? The people running Astroworld who weren't thinking of those things.
I still like the one female student who came up to you afterward and said, so how were you able to be the general manager? What made you when you were so young? And you basically said, I really didn't know what the hell I was doing.
No, I was like Queen Elizabeth. I just said, I'll do it. I'll come in here and I'll learn it and I'll just start doing it.
Yeah, but sometimes that's how you do it.
That is how you have to do it sometimes. I don't know if it was Richard Branson or I think it was Richard Branson who said, when you're looking to get a job, if somebody asks you if you can do something, say yes, and then go figure out how to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So next week, 2, what we do. 1, all right. The aftermath of Astroworld 2021, and the other one, what we're thankful for. So that way, that might add up to 30 minutes. The two of them. Right?
So we could do 29 minutes on Astroworld and 1 minute on what we're thankful for. Right. All right, we're going to wrap things up here. This is our Season 3, Episode 2 of Larger Than Live. Don't forget, hit that subscribe button, smash it, as these three kids would say, and let's get ourselves up into the 4 digits. How about that? You want to do that?
Sure, let's do
that, and we'll work our way up. And again, we understand we want this to be about you. We can sit and rant and rave all day long, but what do you want us to talk about? I know we also talked about doing some Instagram stuff and some different things. We haven't had any requests really to do any of that stuff just yet, but we'll find a way to do that, and we'll try to make this show as much about you and what you think and what you'd like to talk about as we can. So I think it's time that we wrap it up, Fred.
All right.
All right. Season 3, Episode 2. We promise not to take a break. In fact, we'll double up next week. He's Gamble. I'm Finn.
And we are out.